session with some fish management perspectives. You heard Janet talk about the creel surveys, and it was a very strange year. So even though on average it looked like a wonderful year for sport fishing, there were a lot of people who, the distribution of catch per effort was strange, both seasonally and spatially. So we had a lot of pushback on that. And given the winter that we're experiencing still right now, I sure hope we don't have a repeat performance, because there was a lot of pushback on the validity of the creel survey. Can't possibly be right because we didn't see these kinds of catch rates. So that's an ongoing battle that we've got. You've already heard about MNRF's science review on the Atlantic salmon program, but what you didn't hear about was a very extensive public consultation process that Andy and his staff conducted in 2013 and 2014 to look at their stocking program and numbers of fish by species, but also where these fish are being stocked in relation to where the primary fishing effort is distributed. And so that was a very successful effort on Andy's part, learned a lot, and I know he gained a lot of additional credibility with the stakeholders through that process. You heard about lake herring restoration. We are going to continue that with the support of USGS. As long as they're able to produce those fish, that experimental program will continue. Jana mentioned the food web thymine studies. We have requested additional funding for that work, and we hope to enter into a contract with the university to start those studies. And Brian Lantry from USGS is already starting to organize a workshop so that we can bring together some of the best minds in thymine science to start laying out a scope of work for that particular contract. New York continues to work to standardize our sport fishing regulations for trout and salmon in the tributaries. That's always an interesting challenge, and also try to make them understandable to anglers in the sport fishing guide. Mike talked about pen rearing evaluation results. The pen rearing clubs, where the sportsman organizations that are pen rearing, are quickly jumping on these results and starting to already pressure us to increase the percentage of Chinooks that are allocated to pens. But given the fact that they survive by a margin of 2 to 1, at least at this point, that raises this particular question in terms of predator-prey balance. And so Andy and I are going to have some interesting challenges when that study is concluded in 2016. And I just want to note the great work that Dr. Weidel presented. Very grateful, Andy and I are very grateful for the leadership that he's shown in this forage task group, and the fact that he's looking at the existing survey structure and the fact that we now have additional survey capacity with 3 vessels, and that we're looking at redistributing the effort to provide the best data we can for Lake Ontario. And that's especially too also with the work that Mike and Ted Shaner and Jeremy are doing with the uplooking hydroacoustics. That's been, we're very grateful for the work that's gone on there. And Andy's going to be cranking that jack-in-the-box pretty hard. Some of you probably been looking at these presentations today and saying, the alewife, low condition, long winter, Chinook growth going down. So Lake Ontario has long benefited from a lack of an alewife collapse, and so it'll be an interesting year in 2015. So with that, we will transition